names of those boys who have left us. And we miss them over these 50 years. Noor Bikram Rana, one of the, I won't say, but we lost him too early. Vijay Singh wished his sisters among you all, teaching you all class 11. Class 12, that is Mirja wished. Our brother was Pushkar Singh wished. Arun Kumar Jain, Manjeet Singh, Manoj Kumar Chaurasia, Franz Paul Disa, John Clements, Dennis Fallon, Vimal Kumar, Mukul Dasmana, Tajinder Singh, Moin Yasin, and lastly, just a few days back, Muntazir Yasin. It's not only the class fellows we lost, it's the teachers who have left us. Mrs. Piral, Miss Perry, class 4, Mr. Lefevre, Mr. Keeler, all the brothers, the Irish brothers who taught us. Mr. P. H. Shah, the latest, everyone knows about him here. And we have the living legend with us, Mr. S.C. Shah. Mr. S.C. Shah took our class of biology. We were 4 students in class 9. Suraj Rana is here.
Dr. Suraj Rana.
Arun Kumar Jain, Dr. Arun Kumar Jain, he passed away. Dr. Manoj Kumar Chaurasia, who passed away quite some time back. And the 4th one was me. You were a student. Mr. Shah, please.
Thank you, Mr. Ranveer, calling me out for this state out. Well, as you know, I was out here 1996. I joined this institution with the Pauline as being my first principal. And then the Pauline and the Hughes came. So the whole lot of the assistant Semites are from Brother Hughes this time. I believe all of you also from Brother Hughes this time.
Brother Hughes.
60. Brother Hughes. 68 batch.
Yeah.
And 4 of the chaps were doing biology that time. So with more I am concerned with my subject biology. So I was paying more attention towards the medical sciences. So right even at the moment I got about 83 chaps who passed out from St. Jude's. They are doctors and some of them are working abroad and most of them are in India. So whatever I asked Mr. Dr. Rana to say give few tips to my class 12 chap, and Mr. Kumar Ranveer Singh met him in the lunch break. They gave him certain tips regarding this medical learning. So I'll request Dr. Rana from Nepal. He has been my student outside the campus. I'll request him to give tips if you could please.
This is Dr. Suraj Rana. He retired as the Chief of Army Medical Corps of Nepal.
Good afternoon, Mr. Hector Pinto, Dr. Emmanuel, all the staff, the students, my dear friends from the batch of 68, their spouses, and ladies and gentlemen, we were the third batch of Mr. Shah, and there were 4 of us: Ranveer, Arun Jain, Chaurasia, and myself. Out of the 4, 3 of us went out to be doctors, and it's sad that we lost 2 of them. Ranveer is still in the medical field. He owns a hospital in Moradabad, and the hospital is doing very well. So it was a class of 40 plus, and most of us have done well. We've been in various fields, like in IIT, we have Rajani, Burman, and Salil Ghat. Then there were people, as I said, 4 doctors, and others in various fields. Okay, and we have a prominent CA, chartered accountant from Nepal, my friend Prabhuram Mandari. That's very important. All 3, we are there. Vicky turned out to be a general, Sanjay, colonel. So in the army, we had lots and lots, and I can't miss out Nirmay Jain, fighter pilot, who did very well, right? So, and Jagdish Thakase, a philanthropist who has a hospital of his own. Jagdish Lamri, helicopter. He was in difficult times in the station glacier, is that it? Okay, and his lady wife did. So, I haven't missed out on Lokesh Joshi, Ravinder, Sanjay. So, most of us have done well. Ajay was even in the Navy and Merchant Navy. We had Derek Soros, Ajay, and we have Arun Shah, who's a leading businessman. He has a very huge acres and acres of land. If you have no job, please go and contact him. D.S. Khera, Colonel in the Army. Shah, also in the Army. Villamoria was in? Business. Okay, that's it, okay. So, if you work hard, you will land somewhere. This is the phase. Of course, you got to enjoy, you got to play. All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. That's there. And your brains becomes better and more sharper if you play as well as study. But at the point, studies are very, very important. Okay? So, and because you've got to catch on to some line. Okay, some people may have this, fathers who are very rich, but don't depend on all that. Okay? It's you. You have to come up yourself. Make yourself. Be prominent. Be someone in the world. Get above us and be successful. Okay? So as I said, it's hard work. And I at my short speeches. Thank you. Thank you. I owe a lot to Mr. Shah for all the biology he has taught us, and that made me a doctor. Thank you.
Suresh, Purushottam Rajani, he's come from US and he's an dietitian and a very prominent person, and he was known as Mathy, 100% marker in those days.
So, the first thing that struck me as I came here after 50 some years is this auditorium. And I remember we used to do extemporary, do you all do extemporary speeches now?
Debates is still there.
Debates, but not extemporary?
We just did it about 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
2 weeks ago.
I remember my first extemporary, they said, so I got a little card that said, nothing. I had 2 minutes to figure out how to talk about nothing for 2 minutes. That's great, and it was a great lesson. So I really appreciate that. And one of the, I think I've talked to some of you about what's your most valuable asset. We all own things and we love to own things, but the things we own are fleeting. Sometimes you own something, sometimes you don't. Sometimes taken away from you, sometimes you destroy it. Sometimes you get bored of it. Who cares? Your most valuable asset. Anyone in the audience? Time. Well, someone was listening to me. It's time. It's the one asset you can never add any more to. You have a limited amount of time on this earth. Whatever you have, it's a depreciating asset. And every second of every day is a choice you have as to how you want to spend that time. So you can go to IIT, you can be a doctor, it doesn't matter. You can be a great person without having done anything great professionally. One of the best things I ever did was I coached track and field and cross country for 10 years, voluntarily. I got more out of it than I got out of my professional career in some sense, personally. So, how you choose to spend your time isn't just about your professional growth, it's about your growth as a person. In a Catholic school, which, there's some values associated with that. Not necessarily the religion, but the values. Do you know what Einstein said about creativity? 99% perspiration, 1% inspiration, right? If you look at the creative talent, not just in the science but in the arts, you'll find the same thing. Nobody writes the best essay, the best book at the first go. Nobody. It takes lots and lots of edits and thinking and edits. Perspiration, that's where it's at. And then that comes back to time. Where do you choose to spend your time? As you get out of here, you'll face a lot of temptations. You're in a boarding school, you're closed in, the temptations aren't that large. The temptations are maybe I can smuggle a cell phone in. Okay, whoop-de-doo. When you get out there, the temptations will be huge. Several of our, at least one of our classmates fell to those temptations to fatal love. I know at IIT I had several friends who went there. I have 3 really good friends of mine in the States, their kids died of heroin overdose. Choice is yours, the world is yours, you need to make the best out of it. And that's all I can say.
Raghuram Bhandari, please. Chartered accountant from Nepal, and he is world famous.
I think I'll keep this mic down. I think my voice is loud enough. All right? I'll go and stand up here because ever since I left school, I haven't gained 1 inch, okay? Okay. My name is Prabhu Bhandari. I'm from Nepal. I joined school in 1960, graduated in 68. 9 years, no failures. First division, okay? And proud to be a Semite or a Semian. I think that debate still goes on. My profession, you can hear me there? Yes. All right, good. My profession, I'm a chartered accountant. I did that in Bombay. I did my college in Kathmandu. And in Bombay, I trained for my articleship, as they say, and qualified, went home, and we founded our own Institute of Chartered Accountants in Nepal. By an act of parliament, I went home there to become the president, retired, and then from the presidency, and very much in service, very much active in my profession, I run my own business, employ 50 people, and 2 other junior partners, and I'm well off and proud to speak to you today as a former graduate of this prestigious institution. Thank you, boys and girls, principal, and all the staff members here. It's so proud of me to stand up in front of my colleagues and to you and to say 2 words of inspiration. Life is always up and down. Make the most of everything, as Rajani says, as Suraj says, Dr. Suraj has said. We played hard, we studied hard, we did calculated risks of getting into mischief. We were punished sometimes hard. Everything was always better downhill when we look at Ramney. Right? The trouble happened when we look beyond at All Saints. Sherwood says that's our territory. But unfortunately or fortunately, girls there were always prettier than those in Ramney. Alright? I don't know what you guys are doing now 50 years down the road, but I think those things haven't changed much. Okay? Now the message to you, I don't want to be long. I see, and I'm having a reunion with my colleagues here. A lot of them are meeting after 50 years. It's a proud and emotional moment. People have come from all over the world. We are having the best of time. The party goes on for 3 days. The Alka-Seltzers and the anti-acidity, or whatever it is, tablets keep popping in. And after we go home, I'm sure the wives are going to detox us for a couple of days. Alright? The message to you is, as I said, make the most of it. The most important part here is your day-to-day life. But you got to also think where you're going to be down the road. Be proud to stand as I'm standing before you. Life is always a struggle. You've got to work hard, and that's what you are trained for. What is our motto? Certa bonium, certa me? What does that mean? That's right, fight the good fight, right? That doesn't mean somebody comes and punches you in one cheek offering the other. Give him a sock on the other. Alright? We have our graduates, most of them have gone to academies, military academies. At one point of time we used to joke and say, St. Joseph College, should we call it a St. Joseph Academy? Because a lot of them have gone and become Fauji's armed forces, defending you guys, fighting wars, getting decorated. We have decorated soldiers and generals and lieutenants here and colonels here. They have colleagues of us who have flown fighter planes and defended this country. Although I am from Nepal, I am proud to stand before you and look at India and say I have been a part of this because I spent 9 years here and almost 4 years doing my articles in Bombay. So I am like half an Indian, I think. Okay? It's a nice feeling because when you've got something, you should always try to give back. More. Value addition we call it. Okay? So enjoy life, work hard, study hard, get good results. That's important, it's an investment your parents are doing for you. Alright? And be proud that you don't have to wait for another 50 years, maybe 25 years to stand here and speak loud and clear without that mic. Alright? And enjoy life. Thank you very much.
You've seen quite a few things now. You're going to see the army in action. Brigadier Vicky Mehta, an authority in the army.
I'm sure I can outshout the Nepali. I unintentionally speak loud because in the first year or two of my commissioned service in the Armored Corps, which are the tanks, my eardrums burst. So I became hard of hearing. You've seen if you've got headphones on, you tend to speak loud because you don't get a side tone back. So that's why I speak loud so that I can hear my side tone. And you are lucky, then you can hear me without a mic. Brother Superior, Principal, staff, buddies, and friends of St. Joseph's College, Nainital. I call it SJC. I prefer it to SEM, which may be the more popular, but then I consider a college is better than a seminary. I won't speak too much, lest these chaps have me over the board at night at the Boathouse Club. You know, when we look back at our, well, in the forge we call it tenure, but our time in school, we look back and realize, at least in St. Joseph's, how lucky we were. Lucky because this is a school with tradition. Where you are is tradition itself, the wooden board, the same stage, background, the wings on the side, all that. That is tradition. Tradition is like mythology. You respect what is good in the past and keep it. You can improve on this, but it reminds you who you are and what your tradition is. The tradition carries on to the finest set of staff and teachers that any school in this country can ever have. It was the best 50 years ago, it is the best now too. And such a nice, quiet, polite, smiling lot of students. I hope that is not a put on and you are doing that naturally. Okay. Well, I stand before you as an army officer, but more as an old boy of this school who has spoken to quite a few of you about life after school. This has got nothing to do with the army. It has got to do with what I consider my experience in life after leaving school. Well, I can't tell you about college because I never did college. I went straight. December 3rd, our senior Cambridge finished, and December 17th was my UPSC examination, and before you could say Jack Robinson, I was in the NDA. But what you do after school is what you have learnt in school. And be proud of it. You can only do well for yourself if you are proud of what you have learnt and you remember what you have learnt. Few things we do in school is respect your elders, follow rules. As Prabhu said, break them off and on, but then breaking is a little bit of harmless mischief. It is not criminality. Don't be a criminal. Be naughty. You must be naughty because a person who tries is the person who succeeds, a person who thinks out of the box, a person who does something that others have not even thought of. And you can only do that if you have a very fertile mind, and that mind therefore has to be a bit mischievous. We have one of our alumni, Rajesh Adhikari, who's got a Mahavir Chakra in Kargil. He was told, stop, it's okay. The enemy is too well entrenched ahead. Don't go, you wait here, other people will come and then we will go later. He thought to himself, I've got these 20 people with me. We have a task to do. I'm a leader, I'm a manager of a company, okay, we have to get a contract. How do we get this? Do we wait for everyone to come? Do we wait for some government recommendations? Do we wait for this? Do we wait for that? No, I have to do it now. Strike when the iron is hot. Those superiors told him, hold on. He said, no, I have to go, I have to get it, because if I do not, go and attack or achieve that objective now. They will strengthen, and then even my whole battalion of 900 troops will not be able to do it. So he went. When he found his troops reached a place where there was a lot of fire and everything coming, in other words, there was a lot of opposition to what he was trying to do. I'm not saying this is about anything about the army. It has got something to do with that individual and the work he's got to do, be it the corporate sector, be it in government service, be it anywhere else. So he says, now these chaps are hesitating. Now is the time that I was brought up for, to lead. I have to take the initiative and go. So he said, okay, he didn't say go, that is the objective, those are the bunkers, go. He says, that is the objective, those are the bunkers, I am going, follow me. And that is what they did. He lost his life, fine. He didn't join the army to give up his life. He didn't join the army to sacrifice his life. He joined the army to win something for his country, and if in the process he lost his life, he says, fine, it's okay. That is the commitment to what you are to do, which is a very important thing. Once you're committed to do something, do it to the best of your ability, do it even if there is a little bit of risk involved. Complete it, and you will get the satisfaction. That is very important. Next are the sterling values that you are taught in school. Not only taught in school, but which are displayed by your teachers. Honesty. Be honest. Tell the truth. Do not tell a lie. A liar is a thief, because a liar steals the truth. He's a thief. The worst person can be is a liar. Maybe Kargil happened because some people lied, who were supposed to go on patrol. It's open book. I'm not criticizing the army, but we know it. They were supposed to go on a winter vacated area where they vacated for the winter, which was done every year. And they're supposed to regularly go and patrol to see once in a week or once in 10 or 15 days. They never went. So the enemy came across and established positions there. And how much? 576 people lost their lives for that. 2,000 to 3,000 were injured for that. That was a lie. They were not honest. They are criminals. So be honest. Next is be loyal. Whichever organization you work for, whichever school you study in, be loyal. Even now, God help anyone who says anything about St. Joseph's to me, I'll fight with him. My loyalty to my school is paramount. Therefore, also my loyalty to the army is paramount. My loyalty to my organization is paramount. That is the only way I can serve it best. And the third, there must be many more, but the third out of the important ones is dependability. If your superiors and your colleagues and your subordinates consider you dependable, only then will you have their confidence. And dependability has to be earned. It has to be displayed and earned. It doesn't come by the number of marks you get in your tests and exams. So those are the three principles of a human being. Whether you are a leader, whether you are a manager in civil, these three principles are paramount, which you must learn. And with one last little bit, sorry I've taken too long, but one last word of advice I would give you young budding students is always make up your mind as to what you ultimately want. Choose the steps that you have to take to achieve it, and then plan and do it one by one. They say the first principle of war in the army is selection and maintenance of aim. Select your aim and maintain it. Don't keep wavering around. I'm going to do this. Oh, no, let me do this. I walk halfway. Let me do this. Selection and maintenance of aim is the first thing. So be confident in yourself. Decide on what you have to do and do it with honor and grace. Thank you.
Maurice Lamry and Ace Pilot.
First, Venu.
I just, do I need a mic? I haven't got a loud voice like Vicky.
That's because I can't hear myself.
First of all, it's an honor to be standing here back in the same auditorium I stood in 50 years ago. And it is indeed a humbling fact to see that so many of my classmates are here. Unfortunately, a lot of us have also left and gone beyond, but we still remember them. Because as a class, as a group that went through this together, I think we formed a bond which is far beyond anything you see nowadays. I might not meet one of them for a year or 5 years, I might just meet them after 10 years, but what happened 50 years ago, or what we went through 50 years ago, has kept us united, which is what should be going in each one of your minds. You are sitting here today and deciding, what do I do with life? What should I do later on? Decide what you want to do and leave the rest to fate. I have had many experiences. I joined the army, artillery, and then switched across to the flying branch. I was flying initially fixed wing, and then I went on to helicopters. I went on as an instructor on helicopters, and I was posted to areas where operational requirements were extreme. I was in Siachen commanding a flight for 2.5 years. But why I'm telling you this is because depend a lot on fate. This is from personal experience. What is written today for you cannot change. You follow your path, it cannot change. Through personal experience, I'm not saying anything right or anything great or anything like that. I crashed in Siachen when I was commanding the flight there at an altitude of 18,000 feet. I was flying in a blizzard. But fate said, you're not dying. I was lying in the snow for 6.5 hours at minus 30 at 18,000 feet. Logically, I should not be standing here. But I am. I'd cracked my skull in a couple of places, my leg was in pieces, I'd broken all my bones, I was bleeding from inside. Logically, I should not be here. But fate decided that you're not going anywhere. So, I was in hospital for 2.5 years. I got patched up and I went back to flying. Because that's what I love doing. Which comes to the next point is, choose a career and do what you love doing. I love flying. So the army was not a career for me. I was doing something I love to do. So when somebody said, do this, fly there, it didn't mean I was doing a job. I was doing what I love to do. And when you do that, you can't go wrong. So with all of you, decide what you love to do. Some of you will join the forces, some will become doctors, some will become businessmen. As long as you love to do that, do not be forced or influenced into something you do not want to do. I know everyone says, I'll be an engineer. Right? It was a profession which everyone wanted. Today, engineers can't get jobs in this country. So think, doctors, the most noble profession you can ever get, but a very difficult profession. A doctor has no time for himself. Are you committed enough to do that? If you are, leave the rest to fate. Hard work, there is no undercutting hard work. Hard work will always get you through. But remember, you can always say, this can't be done. There are 100 reasons why you cannot do a thing. It's better to look for that one reason why you can do it. And you will be able to do it. And a lot of people told me, you'll never walk again, you'll never do this again. And at that time I said, I will. And because I said I will, I did. It's very easy to give up. That's when you have to fight. And that's what Zen teaches you. Fight the good fight in every way. Morally, physically, everything. Once you've decided, I am not going to give up, do not give up. And fate will take you through that. So believe in fate, believe in hard work, and believe in the values your teachers have instilled into you in this institution. Like Vicky, I can tell you, I'm very proud of St. Joseph's. And I proudly go and name, where did you study? St. Joseph's Nainital, Sen. Proudly. You have people in other institutions, where do you study this? Where did you study this? Because they don't want to come out with it. They are ashamed of the institution. Never be ashamed of your institution. You don't need to. You are in the best school in the land. You can't get better than St. Joseph's. We went through, and I think my classmates will agree with me, we had what was known holy terrors, the Irish Christian brothers. They were such lovable characters, you won't get them today. Unfortunately, they're not there today, but they were, as I said, holy terrors. And as my batch here will tell you, I was regularly getting 6 of the best. They know what that is. I don't think you know what 6 of the best was. They were the Zobali Malacca Canes, and I was famous for that because I was always getting into trouble. I was not a brilliant student, by far from that. We had pink cards, yellow cards, I believe we got red cards now. Yellow cards, blue cards, and gold cards. I was yellow and pink, that level. I was never behind that. I remember once I got a blue card and my mother threw a party. He's got a blue card, what must be brilliant here? But it is not, actually you'll find it's not the brilliant people who go that far in life, but the average person who goes and who's ready to work for it. And it's not only, but I said, it's the average person who pushes his way through. The hard-working person which you should be. And as I say, believe in fate, it will take you through. I've had a lot of examples on that. Why I tell you this is because it is written. When you are born, it is written what will happen so and so year. You cannot change it. A simple example, it is written that I would not die. I was in Nagaland. We were against the Naga hostiles. I had landed in a post there. The infantry were clearing them out. And being pilots there, we didn't carry weapons with us. It was always under the seat. And you just walked around thinking you were big shots there. And 20 yards ahead of me, one of the hostiles ran out. He had a 12 bore with him. He looked at me, pointed the barrel and pulled both triggers. I only heard click, click, both barrels missed. Never happens. It did. Why? Fate had decided it's not going to fire. Unfortunately, he got shot, not me after that. But the fact remains is, believe in faith, believe in yourself, believe in the values that your teachers have instilled in you, and believe me, you can go anywhere. Thank you.
Just a few words from
course you will get a very intelligent discourse.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, there have been at least 2-3 army officers before me who've given you so much about the army. And there's no point if I repeat whatever they've said, because I have more or less the same experiences of about 36 years in the army, and followed by about 5 years in the central government and 4 years in the corporate sector. My take from SEM, leaving out what the others before me have said already, is that this institution undoubtedly teaches you how to fight the right fight, fight the good fight, Sarta Bonum Sarta Men. And that, at least in my case, I am more than convinced that it has taken me through. The type of value systems that I imbibed in this institution, and the 6 years that I studied here, followed by 4 years of military training, they have put me very well in life. And I am personally today, I go as a very satisfied person with the sense of value systems that were imbibed me in this institution. So be very proud of this institution. You are in the best, and Godspeed. Wish you all the best. Thank you.